People, Joel Benjamin 528, aka MC Spookism, Baba Nu. Talk to the people.
Peace and love, brothers and sisters. We're gonna have this show. It don't matter about family in the background because we family. This is about friends and family. This is about safety. This is about the attempt to build and establish community. And Jewel wanted to talk about disasters around the world, and I could understand because I've said a few things about disasters around the world. And if you want to chime in first you can. If you want me to just run with it, let me know, and I can.
All right, so let me chime in. So you see what's going on in Texas, because like I have my homeboy Dominique. Shout out to Dominique, Dominique Buffoon. He goes by on YouTube, and he was telling me, he was like, he remember when you were saying the disasters and certain stuff will happen, and like we're seeing it starting to happen more and more now every day.
It's
So
getting uglier, huh?
fact, it's been happening since 2014, 2016, with all these natural, national, not damn, I'm messing up,
Natural.
natural disasters that's been going on. So we want you to get into that some, um, because a lot of people saying it's rituals going on as well. So natural disasters or rituals. Come on, talk to the people.
First of all, I'm I'm just glad that you and I can talk just about any time I call you or you call me, because you and I, we don't put our foot in our mouth about these things. There's some people out there that are trying to claim responsibility for these things, and they're just a bunch of little kids. So first, I want to say those nut jobs like Ampu and Enki, because people are naming names of people who are claiming responsibility for certain things, and they don't have the ashay for that. Fine. People are also claiming that it is the government behind these natural disasters. Very few. And I want to take it back to the Iraq War. This was the first time that I saw that it wasn't the government behind these major natural disasters, because when Iraq got attacked by George Bush Jr., an area the size of Iraq got wiped out by tornadoes in America. Now, let me show you the one-to-one correspondences, right? Iraq is one of the most historically rich areas on planet Earth, period. When they invaded Iraq, George Bush allowed the museums to be burnt, looted, every single thing, all right? So when those tornadoes hit that area in America, they said this area in America that was hit is about the size of Iraq, and it's one of the most historically rich areas in America. That's karma. That's a strike back. That's not government, and that's not ritual. The only body doing a ritual for that are the Neteru, the deities, the angels, etc. And if you want that level, fine. Now, it's interesting because I have a book signing tomorrow, and I guess Joel realizes that we don't even really need to market that. We need to talk about what's really, really important. Joel, I don't even watch the news no more. You know why? Exactly what you say. It's increasing. And it gets me too excited, and it gets me too happy. I don't want to sound cold and heartless, but I pretty much promised people this. I said it's going to come no less, because they don't want us to be blessed. When I heard 30,000 people in Texas, there are people looking at me like if I'm some devil, because I don't really give a damn. I already predicted it. I already said it's going to happen. I already said it's going to increase. Now, let me tell you why Texas got hit. I've been telepathically communicating with George Bush Jr. He still wants to believe that he has the right to be in public sight, and he is not responsible for why this country is the way it is. And I keep going back to George Bush Jr. because Obama pretty much came after him. And what happened is everybody was trying to blame Obama for this and that, the economy and every single thing. You see, karma is a serious thing. Texas had to get hit. Texas had to get hit, and Texas had to get hit really, really hard. All those 30,000 people that no longer have homes in Texas, they need to pray for the death of George Bush. That's what they need to do. He's responsible for their loss of property. George Bush has enough money to pay every single insurance company that has to pay all those people to get their houses back. This is how serious it is. So up to that, brother man, I don't know about any other natural disasters because Babanu has stopped looking. You can ask Babanu's mom, Babanu's brother, Babanu's daughter. Yo, Babanu don't even watch TV. I don't even watch TV. I don't even go to the news sites no more because it's just so obvious. I've already said enough. What I'm focusing on now is who's going to be saved. If you want to be saved in this time of destruction, if you want to have your kids around 30, 40 years from now, get at me. Get at me. I've already told you. You can go on my fan page. If you want to survive this apocalypse, is going to be going on for another at least 40-something years. We're going to have at least another 40-something years of all this trouble. I can feel the earth shake sometimes when I jump up. My mass density has changed. My personal mass density has changed. When I come to you, Joel, the backpack that I have on my back, ask me, just tell me how much it weighs. I'm running up steps with it. I'm jumping over fences with it, and it's like up to 40 pounds. When I put that backpack on, it feels like 5 pounds. I tested and mastered all this stuff years ago. It's no joke. It's no joke. So tell me the other stuff that I can do, because I'm doing exactly what the Neteru do. How they control the weather. If I get depressed, if I feel lonely, it gets really chilly outside. If I start talking, singing, I get so hot, it gets really hot outside. I've been telling people these things for quite some time, in person and private, of course, because I've had students. I've made amulets for them. One of my students is pretty much a grand dragon. It's pretty much a grand dragon. I already told everybody he bombed a building in Manhattan. You can't arrest him because he didn't do it in person. He could just cause the gas pipes to blow up. And I asked him why. He said he was angry. His mother forced him to try to get a government job. We're not playing. But I'm not taking responsibility for any natural disasters. I don't really care anymore. Yeah, we can talk about it. We can get into it. It's at the point now where the police don't even arrest me, sir, because I follow the law. It's about the law. If you are doing why Texas? George Bush Jr., he doesn't want to atone. George Bush Jr. going to Africa for little this and little that, that was not enough. All right, tell me about the other natural disaster, because brother man, I don't know. I knew about that one because people in my house looked at me like if I was crazy, like, dude, you're not watching the news.
All right, so check this now. So this is one of the next things, because in your book, you make sure you get into a lot of this different type of stuff on the gotcha, and you with your new book, with some of the stuff you let me hear, with your new book that you're writing when we was getting into the light codes. People don't understand, like you have even some Hebrews, they would say, well, this stuff is of the Bible. Judgment is coming. Like,
right.
And people don't want to hear that because they're like, you're getting too spooky or you're getting too Christian. Like, so go ahead, get into that.
I just have to break a lot of people's bubbles, but the book of Revelations is on point. Just because you don't like Christians and just because you don't like the Bible, whatever reason you don't like this and that, it don't mean something isn't right and exact. I've had dreams and visions about the book of Revelations. Take a look. The Bible, I can curse the Bible all I like, but you don't understand what I'm trying to say and what I'm trying to do. A lot of people just ain't intelligent enough to read the Bible. That Bible was rewritten and reworked by master masons who understand something. That Bible, that popular Bible, the King James Version, that was written by Francis Bacon, one of the most super intelligent masons ever. People don't even know about the cipher Baconi. The reason why the Bible is junk is because it's a puzzle and there's a code. If you don't have the code, you're reading junk. If you got the code, you into some very, very powerful magic. The words, the sentences, there are Psalms that I read. When it's the first Psalm, it's the first hexagram. I look at the 5th Psalm, I compare it to the 5th hexagram. All the way up to the 50th Psalm starts to look and sound very much like the 5th hexagram. So all the Psalms now become prayers for me connected with the I Ching. If it goes past 64, then from 65 on, it is Ifa, because I Ching only goes up to 64, or you do 64 plus 1. So 65 now is the 64th hexagram plus the first. And you're going to start to see that. Be careful listening to people like I, because I might call garbage gold and I might call gold garbage. If you have a gold brick just in the park doing nothing, yo, it's garbage. You could go pick it up and use it for something, but I'm not saying that gold is garbage. What I am saying is that sometimes, because people like to listen to you too much and insult you too much, you learn to speak a certain way just to fool them. Sometimes you gotta fool them. Sometimes you got to turn them away from very, very powerful magic and knowledge, because all they're going to do is abuse it. We are seeing what I call spatial displaced apocalypse. People expected the apocalypse to be one big boom, almost everybody dead, some people still living. No, the apocalypse is happening in different places according to karma. According to karma. So now what Joel is talking about is recent, but I'm going to go all the way back to when about 40,000 people died in Iran from an earthquake. I'm going to go all the way back to Haiti when about 175,000 people died in that earthquake. If that's not apocalyptic, I mean, 30,000 people are displaced in Texas. That's nothing. Americans are too lucky. There was another disaster in one of those Southeast Asian countries years ago. Now, this disaster happened because there was a lot of child sex trafficking. So even before now, we even started to talk about Katrina, which is what they did to punish black people. But check this now, you gotta look at both sides of the story. People down there abused too much voodoo. The black people down there abused too much voodoo. They built the levees in such a way that you break the levees, it'll stop the rich people's area from being flooded, and it'll flood the black people's area. So while that disaster came for them down there, certain people made sure black people got hit the hardest. That's just Katrina. So I'm going to ask you right now, brother, because I'm just glad that you came back. Outside these 30,000 people that got in Texas, what else is going on? Like, you know, are there hurricanes in the Caribbean? Because, yeah, man, I'm not looking, but I've read enough of the book of Revelations to know that it's begun. It's begun. I consecrated the 7 horsemen of the apocalypse a few years ago because it's that time. Joel, I can barely hear you, man. All right. So let me plug my show tomorrow. Tomorrow we're going to be talking about America and its roots in the Nile Valley. Now I'm talking about this because, listen, America is over, okay? The banking system has pretty much broken down. The banking system has broken down. A lot of Masons have broken down the banking system. We're going to have to bank with each other. We're going to have to bank with each other, trade with each other, and be fair with each other. And we're going to have to respect the kings and the queens, because if you're not a king and a queen and you're trying to bank unfairly, you're going to get pushed out the way. I work with Joe Benjamin because he can't be moved. I work with Joe Benjamin because he does come at it hard. He be hitting those people who don't want to play fair and who don't want to get down with him and I. He be hitting them hard. He be asking me to hit them hard. A lot of people out there know they need to come to the table. Yo, the door is open. There is plenty to eat. Tomorrow from 7 to 9, I will be speaking. Joel is going to be there early. I'm going to get there early again. But this time, I'm going to make sure that there are books left for people who come to sit down. The event is free. The event is free. I don't plan to provide wine and refreshments and all that stuff. It's only 2 hours. I hope that Coconut Rob is there. I really do, because his refreshments are good enough. I brought stuff to use with Coconut Rob. I'm going to try to bring that stuff tomorrow. I don't know if I can. My situation is not different. So I am hoping that Coconut Rob comes out tomorrow, because we're going to have some really good, powerful food. If he comes out, I'll be able to have some of that powerful food, because I can pick it up here and there easily. It doesn't even cost much.
Listen, so now, because people want to know, like, what's the ratio of what's ritual and what's the ratio of what's natural? Because a lot of times it's entities. If you look at the old footage of the tsunami, I think it was 2011 or something like that. I'll get the right year. You see, like, certain creatures jumping through, disappearing. I mean, I could show that to prove to the people. You understand what I'm saying? Like, it's ridiculous when you see it. Even certain tornadoes, when they showing the overhead view, or hurricanes, and they're showing like spaceships going in and out of it. I know it sounds crazy.
It's not crazy. I am sorry that people don't know that this is real. This is what I said, right? Remember that plague that happened about 2 or 3 years ago? Remember when they had Ebola in New York City? Remember that? Before that Ebola, there was a plague that came down from Canada. It was like this, right. I said something washed up on the beach. It started to rot, and somebody's dog started eating it. It was something very deep in the ocean that came up. It could have been a coelacanth. And after that dog ate it, that dog went home, gave its owner that thing, and that's how it spread. So very ancient creatures.
Hold on, Babano, before you continue, I'm sorry. I'm seeing people typing in that they can't understand you because you got the candy in your mouth. They asked if you could take the candy in your mouth because they want to hear you and get the information properly.
The candy's gone. Am I clearer now? Like, is this a mic?
Yeah. Because they like with the candy in your mouth, they hear the candy and whatnot in your mouth.
Okay. Oh, okay. Sorry about that. Let me revisit once again a few things. The reason why I start from George Bush and come all the way up is because the Bush crime family became the richest family on planet Earth because of the Iraq War. The Bush crime family owns Saudi Arabia. They don't need to be listed as one of the 13 ruling families that own the Federal Reserve. They don't. They got their own Federal Reserve, oil back as Saudi Arabia. When that war went on, oil went over $100 a barrel. Who you think made money? The Bushes. They got oil wells. So these people were making over $100 a barrel for quite some time. They really came up. But it increased the apocalyptic activity, because an apocalypse is an option. Destiny is potential and opportunity. We started passing through the center of the universe in December 21st, 2010. That's when the apocalypse started. People were being told 2012 because they don't realize the structure of the universe. In 2010, we hit the edge of the center. In 2012, we were full in. You couldn't ignore, avoid, or deny that it was an apocalypse. In 2010, you could, but if you were connected, your Shepsu ancestors, Neteru, etc., would have told you. So in 2012, during the winter solstice, what did you see, man? You saw birds falling from the sky. I mean, everything associated with an apocalypse that they put in movies happened, and people thought it was government sponsored. Are you kidding me? Are you out of your mind? So the government is going to orchestrate birds falling from the sky? Really? Really? And I'm just mentioning one thing that happened. Just one thing. Like, if you didn't get enough signs that the apocalypse has begun, you're nuts. You're nuts. The words that is being used is, this is a soft run.
Do you remember the fishes? I'm sorry, I just got to throw this in there.
Cool.
Remember, I did a lecture with the blood red moon, and I did with the red rain. I did a lecture in 2012 about that. All right, and
Right.
I did one not after. Then red pill, not red pill, I believe it's blue pill, came out with the blood monologue, and he tied in and put a lot of stuff in there. Could you touch on that, because it had fishes washing up, birds falling out the sky dying, like you said, it looked like something in a movie. And
yeah, now, all right. This is why it looks so bad, right? Because the Mermaid Kingdom is at war with the Western world. A lot of people don't know about the Mermaid Kingdom. The U.S. military has perfected the use of sound weapons to kill mermaids. And these mermaids started washing up on the sea before all these other fishes. Now, there's been huge whales washing up. These animals are sentient conscious beings. Some of these animals that are washing up on the sea are like 2,000 times more intelligent than 90% of the human population. Some of these animals that are washing up on the sea, these huge whales, these huge octopuses, and sometimes mermaids, look at the footage. Mermaids, the body found, they found a full mermaid body. They did everything on it, proven, and then they try to walk it back, but they couldn't walk it back. It is too late. It's too late now to walk it back. And I told people that there's been a war in the Bermuda Triangle since the Mermaid Kingdom of the remnants of Atlantis. The Atlantic Ocean, the Caribbean islands, the island archipelago, that is the remnant of the peaks of Atlantis. Inside the Lesser and Greater Antilles, what we have is what fell into the bottom of the ocean. That's why when you go down there deep enough, you see pyramids. That's where Atlantis used to be. So the war is real. The war is real. I'm at the point now where there's certain things that wouldn't even say on here. But if I get a crew, the city's right for the taking. I just need a two-man crew. I just need a two-man crew, man. We're not talking about breaking the law. Stop talking about breaking the law. We want to talk about natural disasters. What we got to talk about, the bounties of the earth, the wealth and the prosperity that will only be gotten through Ma'at. That is us working together in tandem and being honest with each other. And there's a whole lot of wealth to be gotten. They can die in this apocalypse, not us. I'm good. I'm good. Go back to the Sumerians.
Let me cut in. You said something about the mermaids, and I believe that's a whole nother show. One that me and you could do together. I might just save it for a lecture. But I have been on this mermaid information for a while. I have a homeboy of mine's, Rich, and he first told me about the documentary that came on, I believe it was Discovery Channel. And it's funny, they made them take the documentary down. The government stepped in. The government stepped in, make them take the documentary down, right? I see.
Stupid.
Yeah, they made people when they took the documentary down. They put the documentary back up, and they had to put the disclaimer and certain things they had to take out of the documentary. So
ridiculous.
Now people that know that information, they're saying, well, the reason why the fish was washing up is because the weapon that they have, which the government admit to having this weapon. They don't lie about it. They admit to having this weapon that throw the sonar off of the fishes and the whales and the dolphins and everything else. What they don't admit, of course, is about with the mermaid launching attacks on mermaids or whatever the case is. Now, my thing is in this, people being that they know that, they take that and run with it and say, well, it's the government. They blame everything on the government. It's like nothing could be natural or ritualistic to them. It's the government, they did this and that's it. That's what people look to say, and I can't go by that, you know.
Well, I can promise you one thing. I can promise you one thing. And I hope too much people don't try to get at me tomorrow because I have a show. I'm going down by the sheriff's office tomorrow to see who the government is. I know who the government is. I know who the government is. Right now.
Hey, yo, hold on. Before you go, don't even keep saying that too much, because YouTube have a habit like with the algorithms.
Right.
The stream. So we already said the name once. We know who we talking about. Now continue.
But you know, everybody keeps blaming shit on the government, and I keep saying that the real government is the gods and the goddesses. Why is the U.S. government, which is defunctory, obviously the U.S. government ain't fucking real. You can't break the law that much and be real. You can't break the law that much and still have authority. I'll kill people in the government and put it public.
Yo, watch what you said. I just told you. I don't want the stream, the live stream, to get cut off.
All right. You know, we at a critical juncture in human history right now, man. And I'm just really tired of the foolishness. People need to stop getting into the froggery, and people need to stop with this agnostic BS. And I know how to take stuff down, Joel, because I used to put up a link to the Catholic Church website. On this link, you had the best information on the angels and the hierarchy of the angels. And I'm saying, look, see, I had a link to a Catholic website that proved who's black. St. Nicholas is black. Nicodemus. These are all the black Romans. The first pope was black.
And this is the Catholic Church admitting this straight there.
This is the Catholic Church admitting this, but people still want to argue.
And they took it down? Did they take it down?
Hell yeah, they taking this stuff down. They're trying to make it seem as though that's not the real Catholic Church website. Everything I can't document, man, it's just me. But what they did tell me is check out Pinterest. Pinterest, for some reason, is unbreakable. Pinterest, for some reason, is unbreakable in terms of information, in terms of pictures. You need pictures. You need pictures. So what's happening is that the real government is stepping forward. The real government is stepping forward, and the few hideouts, they're trying to prove that the real government ain't the real government. And that's stupid. We really have some sick, dumb, demented, trapped idiots thinking that they can stop the destiny of the universe. Are you nuts? Are you nuts? A guy brought this stupid sister to my apartment just because she believed that the deities are just aspects of this, figments of people's imagination. You're going to have to ask me now, how does planet get built? Well, who the hell built it? Oh, some random coming together of blah, 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 blah. Really? And it's not even that we don't see them, because you're trying to say that we see them. I'm trying to say, listen, these people are so stupid, bro. If they don't believe that this is real at this point, let them stay stupid, bro. But we're going to keep talking about it. So yeah, man, sometimes when the spaceships come to collect people, they tell me certain people will get boom and they're gone. Then they get brought back, boom, they get brought back. Within that 10 or so seconds that they've been gone, about 2 hours of stuff has happened to them, because that's how fast the ships can move. So when you're seeing the spaceships in the storms and all that stuff, is because they're coming with a storm. They use similar technology that causes storms to propel themselves. And during those periods, you're going to see spaceships in the storms as well, because some people deserve to be saved. You understand? Not everybody deserves to get washed away in floods and all that stuff. You know, yeah. Hugs and kisses. Hugs and kisses. This is about hugs and kisses, and this is about love and about family and safeguarding and securing your family. So when Joe Benjamin is, you know, talking about this stuff and doing lectures on this stuff, I'm glad that he brings me in for validation, because the stuff is so valid. I don't even really talk about it now, man. I try to do a whole lot of good music. I try to sing a lot, and I just try to deal with the immediate nut jobs in my life. Just the immediate. Just about every single thing else, I've been saying it for too long. I've shown too much proof. So one of the things that the Neteru said to me is, Baba new people are coming to the truth, and the people who started thinking it wasn't real are now seeing the proof. So it's okay to talk about it. So I don't mind if anybody wants to book me anywhere to talk about this stuff, my schedule permitting and payment permitting, I'll be there. I'll be there. Now, I was on a talk show called Storm Talk, Spreaker.com, and I pretty much made that network a hit. I pretty much made that network a hit, and they said to me, you know, take the spring, summer, and fall off. You heard the last one, fall off. Sometimes you have to fall off the map. Sometimes you have to fall off the map. So my new Facebook page might have 5 to 9 friends. People like, I guess Baba Nu ain't got much friends no more. Yeah, I ain't got much friends no more. I don't need a whole lot of friends no more. I only need real friends, and real friends and true love is hard to find. So for Joel, man, anything I got to do to keep your friendship, I'ma try. Because I do look at some of your information and I'm like, thank you, guy. I don't have to do it. Because people are not thinking that this stuff is real. You know, people are not. I've seen you put up stuff on the health supplements. Yeah, you can have sex for 12 hours straight. People don't believe. People don't believe. Like, what life? And we're talking about people who are supposed to be steeped and schooled in the knowledge. Like, it's like we got replacement sages. We got replacement wise men. We got a bunch of stand-ins. We got a bunch of stand-ins. And now that we are standing in, looking cool, casual, dressed down and whatnot, sneakers and whatnot, we've already done a whole lot of suit and tie business, professionalism, presentation. At this point, we do it however we can, wherever we can. And people don't understand that we've been doing this however we can, wherever we can for years. I remember going up into Grand Central. I'm up there with my daughter. I am meeting my daughter and my son so we could go watch the movies. Lady came out the blue, Caucasian lady. She was like, you know, could I film you? Could I ask you a few questions? You know, I said, sure. And she wasn't shocked. But other people looked around like, oh, shoot, this shit is true. Yes, I didn't look to see what she put it up on. I don't need to. I don't need to know how real I am. Because I've been real for too long, man. You know, there was a... I can't hear you, Joel. If you're talking to me, I can't hear you. I got filmed for a show where, you know, they spoke to me about all type of interesting things. Joel, I can't hear you. I can't hear you.
Nah, keep going. I'm listening to you.
Right. You know, I was asked to do this show. Not a show, a film. This is years ago. I was asked to do a film years ago. And the last part of the film, they talked about Jesus. I was so shocked. The lady asked me to get into Jesus. And at that time, I really wasn't interested in Jesus because too much about it gets put into the wrong context. And a lot of Christians are stupid and sick. You know, I see them still trying to preach and teach, but they're not acknowledging who Jesus is. If you got a white picture of Jesus in your church should be burnt to the ground. If you have a light-skinned, straight-haired picture of Jesus in your church should be bombed. Somebody should Molotov cocktail your church, man. Because it's at the point where you need to represent the Messiah for the way that he looked, when he was recognized as the Messiah. You need to stop playing. You need to stop hating on Kemet. You need to start hating on the ancient world. You need to start hating on Sumer. You need to start hating on Taoism. You need to stop hating on all these things that came along before them Romans took over and messed everything up. You need to stop hating on it, and you need to start looking into it.
People won't get mad at me. Gotta cut it short now. That's our time. Baba Nu, let the people know where the event is, the time.
My event is tomorrow. It begins at 7. I'm going to be there no later than 6. So if anybody tries to slow me down tomorrow to stop me from getting this, you're going to just get cut off. I'm just going to cut you off and leave you.
All right, let them know where the event at, man.
The event is at 1396 Fulton Street, the Restoration Plaza. This is a core branding marketing event with Nicholas Brooklyn. Y'all seen the flyer. Nicholas Brooklyn is at the top right now. And if I put Nicholas Brooklyn at the top of my flyer, Nicholas Bookstore is on top right now. So I know that Mr. Benjamin is feeling a little bit of heat right now. But that's how it's supposed to be done. Co-branding, co-marketing. You guys can come out from 6. If you can't make it till 7, that's the official start time. But I will be there to speak, to meet, to greet. This is at Restoration Plaza, and this is not it. This is not
address. Let me give them the address: 1396 Fulton Street, Brooklyn, New York. People, come out. It's a free event.
It's a free event,
and he's gonna have the books there. Congratulations on the success of your book, by the way.
Thanks, bro.
And a lot of things that's happening now ties into his book, God Genes Decoded, and 1, 2, and 3. Plus, he have a new book that he have in the works. So, all right, that's our show. Give out your information or however people can contact you, Babanu.
If you want to contact me because you need some spiritual counseling, spiritual advice, and those type of things, my email address have not changed over the years. EgyptianVoodooPriest@gmail.com. EgyptianVoodooPriest@gmail.com. My alternate email address for my straw man is my first and last name at yahoo.com. That's Ricardo, RICARDOWALDRON at yahoo.com. No spaces. If you want to get these books, you can get them at Nicholas Brooklyn Bookstore. You can also check out Owl and Dove seller account on Amazon.com. Right now, I'm only selling original and revised version, leatherette bound hardback. That's the 525 one. You buy that, brother, I send you 2 books. Black and gold leatherette, and also the coffee table that has the leatherette underneath. That's what you get. I'm only keeping that up there for now because right now, so much is going on with that book. That's all I'm keeping because I'm letting people see. People have contacted me because they were so pissed at paying. All right. Peace and love. You can get the book there. You can get the book in Nicholas Brooklyn. It will always be in stock because I'm in Brooklyn. Have a nice day, people.
All right. Peace.